right, I'm live. Make sure I got my live. Make sure I get this live right on my Facebook. So I appreciate you guys joining me on. Appreciate you guys joining me on TikTok earlier. And I appreciate you guys joining me on YouTube. Appreciate that. And let me get my live going. Let me get it going here on Facebook as well. So here we go. Had to do some refreshing so I can get that. Right, it's your favorite coach. It's your favorite coach, guys. Coach Smith. Love the game 24/7. All right. It's your favorite coach, Coach Smith. Would love the game 24/7. And I appreciate you guys joining me. And I'm pointing the wrong direction. You know, if you see in the left of your screen on YouTube, there's a QR code, right? If you pull out your camera, right? Pull out your camera. And if you get your camera and put it over that QR code, it's going to take you to my website so you can register for the camp. For my camp on March 29th. Okay. And so, you know, click on that. If you click on it, it's going to bring you to my YouTube channel, Love the Game 24_7, so you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. So be sure you subscribe if you click on the button. But if you pull out your camera phone and hover over that, you know, for you guys that are on IG following me, if you go to my YouTube channel and you see that QR code, and you open up your camera on your phone and scan that QR code, is going to take you to my lovethegame247.com website, so you can get your young person or your young person, you can get signed up for the camp. That's $110, right? But I'm coming on here to share a discount code with you guys to encourage some of you guys to get signed up before, you know, space gets limited. The camp is coming up the end of March, the last Saturday of March, March 29th, right? Coach Smith is going to have some guys who play college and pro ball helping coach you guys up to be sure you don't hurt yourself, right? And, you know, that you check yourself and not wreck yourself, right? And so, you know, it's very important that you guys realize that, because too many of you young athletes who are playing football, you know, you don't do a good job of performing at these camps, at these ranking camps, and at these college camps. And some of you guys, you know, have wasted your money. And I say it's a waste because it is, because you didn't get coached up, and you need to get somebody to coach you up, because those drills, they've been doing these same drills forever. And if you don't put some ample time in, you can't put a week in, you can't put 2 weeks in, right? You need a month or two, right, of honing your skills and working these drills at least 2 or 3 times a week to prepare yourself before you go to these ranking camps. Okay. And if you haven't put that time in, and somebody working with, and even if you put time in, because there's like, you know, just I just shared on my TikTok live, you can be putting hard work in the wrong thing, or putting hard work in and nobody's out there, you know, to show you, you know, you don't have anybody showing you how your start should be in that 40-yard dash, or how you should be doing that 20-yard short shot. I'm 56 years old. I tell you, I'm 56 years old, and I'll get out there right now, and I'll show you how to do a 40-yard dash start. I can still do a decent 40 at my age, but I can still do a hella start coming out of the blocks. Better than most of you high school kids that are, you know, much younger than me. I can still jump out, you know, because I do it, right? And I've been doing it so long, most of my life, I did it so long that it's just second nature for me to get out there and just warm up and stretch real good. You know, I got to warm up and stretch a little bit longer than I did when I was younger, and that's cool. But I would eat some of you all up right now at my age in getting out and getting a start, right? I might beat some of you in the 40. And don't get me started, because I'm telling you, I'll eat you up. You know, I know I'm a little bit older, but hey, I know I put work in still, right? And I haven't been putting the work in like I used to, and I'm getting ready to get myself back in this gym. So when I do start working out with you guys, I can show you better than I can tell you when you come to my camp on March 29th. And so get yourself registered now at lovethegame247.com. All right. And like I said, for you folks that are on my YouTube channel, you know, that link, that QR code that's in the that you see there in the left, you know, that right there in the left corner, viewing this, you know, pull out your camera and get your camera phone out and click on that link when it pops up so you can register. And then after you do that, then click on that button while you're on YouTube so you can subscribe, right? I need you to subscribe. Subscribe to Coach Smith, right? It's your favorite coach, right? But I appreciate you guys joining me on my live, right? Getting this great information, okay? Because too many of you guys are wrecking yourselves, right? And I don't want you to wreck yourself. All right, I'm going to put register now at www.lovethegame247.com for the March 29th football skills development camp. Man, this stuff we used to do when I was a kid growing up with all the older guys that would come back home and train from when they were home from college, or if some of those ones that had the opportunity to play pro ball, you know, like the Tron Armstrongs and the I'm trying to think of Boo's first name. I can't think of Boo's first name, but I think he played CFL, but Tron Armstrong played with the Jets, and then went to the CFL. Then you had Ernest Givens, Pat Terrell, buddy who I interviewed. Man, guys, man, they would come back, man, and make sure that we shared information with each other to help each other get better. That's just the way we did things, and we would sure enough get out there on the football field, okay, and do what we had to do. Oh, I forgot I didn't even go live. I've been talking. I wasn't live on my IG, but now I'm live. I knew something wasn't right. Hold on a second. Let me type this in. Type this in for everybody on IG. Go to lovethegame247.com and register now. Let me put this on here. Now for the March 29th football skills development camp. Here we go. I got it out there on my IG. Now that I'm live, thinking I was live, and I wasn't. But as I was sharing, Coach Smith, I'm 56 years old, just turned 56. I'll get out there and show you guys right now how to do your start correctly at my age, and I'll beat some of you right now. And when I get myself in some shape, by the time March 29th comes around, I'll be working on getting myself in shape as well as getting ready for the summer. Getting myself in shape for the summer, doing some things. But I'm telling you guys right now, too many of you guys, you didn't check yourself, before you wrecked yourself. You can't go to these. They've been doing these drills for as long as I can remember. Okay, these same drills they still do today. Broad jump, right? Vertical, bench press. Okay, your 40-yard dash, your 20-yard shuttle. If you don't put some ample time and energy, TEE. If you don't put that T time, right? That's a golf terminology, man. You got to knock that ball off the tee. right? So you got to knock your opportunity off the tee, right? And those who have the correct form, it ain't just about power, right? It's about technique and form to get distance on knocking that ball off the tee and knocking your opportunity off that tee with your time, energy, and effort. And if you don't put the right time, energy, and effort in, you can't do it in a week. You can't do it in 2 weeks. And then you expect to go to these Under Armour, Rivals, 247, even Love the Game 24/7 camp, right? But it means more. It means just as much to come to my camp as it is for you to go to these camps. Because if you haven't been taught on how to do these drills the right way and repeat this and repetition, and you got to do these drills 2 or 3 times a week for months, for at least a month or two, right? And it's still, some of you all still may not have it totally down, but some of you might, because it all depends on how well you listen and are coached up, right? It all depends on how well you're coached up. So I appreciate New Beginnings Ministry jumping on. But this is Coach Smith trying to tell you, if you got some young athletes out there at New Beginnings in football, Coach Smith, originally from Florida, followed the older brother that played college and pro football. I did the same thing, NFL and Arena League level. My oldest son is a current, NFL pro athlete that I coach back home in Florida. Played at Boston College. He's been in the league for 5-6 years. So, I think I know a little bit of something about how to get recruited in college sports in general, for male or female athletes, right? Because it's the same. It doesn't matter what sport you play, okay? Whether you male or female, recruiting is recruiting, okay? And there's things you have to do. There's things you have to train. I played football and ran track all my life, from 7th grade all the way through college until I got into the pros, okay? So, and I got 25 years in financial aid to help teach parents, and students how to get that money as well, along with you using your gifts and talents in sports, athletics, being good in the classroom, right? How to find those grants and scholarships, right? There's a lot of good folks out there that can train you, and they might just be able to train you in sports, right? But they can't train you 25 years in financial aid to teach you all those things, right? So it's just, it is what it is. And so appreciate it, Ferg. Thanks for joining me, bro, on my Facebook. So I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube right now. Go to my YouTube channel or take it down, Love the Game 24_7. And if you're on YouTube, I got that QR code from my website, lovethegame247.com. I got it in the chat on Facebook, YouTube, and on IG for you parents and young athletes out there who need to get coached up, right? In these skills training for football. I talk mainly more about football because that's what I know, football and track, okay? But I know sports recruiting, period. I work at a, university. I got 25 years, okay, in financial aid. So I know what I'm talking about, and I want to help you parents supplement your children's education by investing now, right? My camp is March 29th for you football athletes out there. Bring some of the girls who play flag football, because flag football is growing now, right? That's growing, okay? And my goal is probably this summer to have put on a girls flag football camp. I got some buddies who specialize in that as well for the young ladies. So I'll be giving more information about that. But go to lovethegame247.com. My website is up and live and going. It's been up for about 2 weeks, going on 2 weeks now. And you can register now for my football camp and get the word out there, get to Wilmington, North Carolina, so you can get coached up and go through these drills so you'll know what you need to do. And when you go back home, so before you go to these ranking camps and these college camps in the summer, you will have time from March 29th when you come to my camp until the summers as you go to these things, right, to help you in your recruiting. And you need to go to some of these things. You need to get exposed, right? You need to get some exposure on who you're competing with. I've always told you it's 4 types of players: good, really good, where most of the scholarships are being competed for, are between the good and really good players. And then there's great and really great players, right? There's not a lot of great and really great players. So there's not a lot of scholarships that they're fighting for those talented level kids. There's not a lot of LeBron James. Let me just put it that way. There's not a lot of LeBron James. There's not a lot of Steph Currys, okay, because those are great and really great players, right? And so it's the same in any sport, male or female, right? There's only so many of those guys or young ladies fighting for those scholarships. Most athletes are good and really good players fighting for those scholarships. And you got to set yourself apart, right? What sets you apart? Is it your academics, like the young man that I told you is like a nephew of mine that in the Nashville area got a preferred walk-on opportunity because he had such a high GPA. He got some great academic money, and the football team know they got to steal where they don't have to come out of their pocket right now to give him football money just yet. Eventually, they're going to have to because he's going to go there and earn it. Because I know what type of young man he is, and I know what kind of work he's been putting in. I've seen his development every year in high school, from playing varsity football from 10th grade all the way through 12th grade. Right? So it's no surprise. I mean, it's competitive because you got a lot of transfer kids, right? So however you get in to get yourself an opportunity to play at the college level, you get in. I got a young man here out of Laney High School, Michael Jordan High School, tight end, knew nothing about the camps until, I, ran into him and happened to see him and like, man, we talking to him and say, hey, what kind of recruit you have going on? And he didn't have much anything going on. Knew he wanted to play, and the kid could play. Tight end, 6'3", 225, 230 pounds. He got offered by Johnson C. Smith, the D2 school. Right? But he knew nothing. Coach hadn't said anything to him. I don't think coach is a bad person. That, some coaches, man, they have their mind on a lot of different things and just don't sometimes. A lot of people think the high school coaches are doing certain things, and they are. And if you hadn't sat down and had a communication with the coach on about your young person, your young lady athlete, your young male athlete, they're just going to assume that you're fine with how things are going, and you're not, because you haven't sat down and said, hey, I know my son, I know my daughter is this, right? And I know they have the ability to, probably use this as a way to help pay for their education. And I'm going to do everything I can to invest and make sure they buy into your program, right? And do what they need to do. Okay. And parents and coaches got to do a better job. But I'm not going to wait on the coach, mom and dad, when I got a young athlete stud in here. I'm not going to I'm not going to wait for the coach to come to me. Right? And I'm not going to try to tell him what to do with his or her program, but I'm going to tell them about my child, who I know can play, who can ball, and how they're going to be able to help their program. I'm not going to bite my tongue and I'm not going to come in with, being rude or disrespectful, because this is this coach's team, right? But that coach, he or she needs to understand where you all are coming from, and your student athlete needs to have that conversation and be comfortable with it. You got to learn how to, my father taught me this when I was in middle school. Before I didn't have my father around in high school. Okay. And I didn't have a high school coach that was helping us. But, I playing Little League football, I had a coach that wanted me to play the position that my brother played. And I was a running back and my brother was a receiver in DB. And I'm like, no, I'm a running back DB, but I'm a running back. I'm not my older brother. My father had me go, when I was in middle school, go talk to the coach about how I was feeling. Right. So that taught me as I got older, I got to speak up for myself. And parents, you have to be involved. You're not in control all the time. You have to be involved, though. Some control, okay? And you and the coaches that are coaching your children or your child, you all need to have a come to Jesus meeting. And they need to know what your child's goal is. And you need to have a discussion with your child, too, as well. Right? But I tell you right now, my mom didn't have to, I was pulling my mom along, okay? Because I knew him. I knew, because that was how my father raised us before I lost him, to his battle with cancer, but because of what he put in me and my mom put in me, I didn't mess around, man. I knew I love sports. I love football. I love running track. I really enjoy playing basketball too, but I knew what was going to get me where I wanted, what was going to get my education. It was going to be football and track. I knew that. I knew that early, as a kid. what was going to be my ticket. I knew that, right? And my father and mother stressed education. Stress, doing what you need to do in the classroom. And I had my stuff in order. So when coaches came to recruit me, they didn't have to worry about my academics. I was solid, ready to go by my 11th grade year, by my 10th grade year. But I had all the credits I needed by the end of my junior year in high school to be accepted to college. And I had a GPA, and I took honors classes to get me to pump my GPA up even more, right? I was just short of a 3.0. I was like around a high 2.8, low 2.9, somewhere, GPA in high school. But I know, hey, I'm not going to sit here and fool myself and say I'm a, 4.0 student. I wasn't that, but I knew I could at least do about a, 3.0, close to it. And I did. And there were times I had 3 point, I had to raise my GPA up because I messed around a little bit, in my early years, but I got my 3.3s, my 3.2s to get that GPA up to, up to around that 2.9 area. And I had, the test scores that I needed based on my GPA. I was well above what I needed to be. And so I was all set and ready to go. But I'm here to tell you, I got a discount code for you guys on IG and YouTube and Facebook. I gave the code for TikTok for the first 5. And I'm gonna do the same thing here for the first 5 athletes who sign up. We get a 10% discount on my football camp on March 29th. The camp is $110, so a 10% discount. The camp will be $99. And let me just tell you what that comes with. Right, we're gonna have a check-in at 7:30. Right, by 8:05 we're gonna have an introduction. All right, by 8:15, somewhere in there, 8:30, we're gonna have warm up and stretching, and then we're gonna get right into by 8:45, 8:30, 8:45, we're gonna get right into warming up and doing the combine type format, right? 40-yard dash, 20-yard shuttle, L drill, broad jump, right? We're gonna do those things, and we're gonna time the athletes and that, so you'll get an idea of where you're at, okay? And then and from that, we're gonna give you a little bit of individual time and some competitions within your position group, whether you're offense or defense or whatever position you play. You're gonna go through some little drills and competitions, and then you're gonna get some individual skill time with your coaches for a few, and and then we're gonna break for lunch. And then after lunch, you're gonna come back and get some more skill development time, and then get ready to do some one-on-one competition, like linebackers and safeties against tight ends and running backs, and wide receivers and DBs, one-on-one competition going against each other. And then we might do some 7-on-7, right? And get out of there between 2:30, 3 o'clock for the day, right? And then after that, you'll be able to follow up with Coach Smith and get yourself anywhere from like 30 minutes to an hour of discussion about how your camp went with me, and some things you might, just discussing where you going to camp or whatnot, what position you play, what's your goals. I'll do some scheduling for some Zoom meetings for you athletes and parents to help you navigate through the recruiting process. And if you decide from that, after talking to me, you want to, use my recruiting service to help you, then I'll be more than happy. I don't care where you come from. I just was watching video of a young man when I was in Dallas, Texas over the holiday break. Got to coach at the All-Star game with offense, defense, and met a lot of great young men. I sent some emails out to folks that were there, let them know about the camp. Space is limited because we don't want a ton of people that we can't give attention to. So you better get signed up before it's too late, before I shut it off and cut it off. But I want to give this discount code to encourage you guys to get out there and get signed up. Camp t-shirt will come along with that. But like I said, we're going to, do all we can to get you going in the right direction, right? Because you're going to wreck yourself if you don't check yourself before you go to these ranking camps and these college camps for the summer, and you don't do well in these drills, right? Because those drills are, like I said, they've been doing these forever, but it's to disqualify as many people as possible so they can narrow down who are the athletes they need to recruit, who is in their development stage in the direction that they, should be going in, because these coaches, this is their livelihood. And they just can't bring anybody in and give scholarships to anybody or opportunities to just anybody. Okay, so you gotta figure out what it is that makes you different, what makes you stand out, not just on the football field, what makes you stand out, in other areas, right? Because when those recruiters come on campus, if they do have some interest, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna talk to the cafeteria lady, they're gonna talk to the janitor, right? They're gonna talk to the little kid walking through the campus, because if you are an athlete on campus, you are a big man or a big woman on campus, and I mean popularity. People know who you are. In those certain sports, they know who the top players are on the team, who the star players are, whether it's male or female. And scouts are going to pull a student in the hallway. Hey, what do you know about so and so, so and so, and try to get an idea if they, know who they're asking about. And they're gonna like, oh yeah, he's cool, or she's cool. She's one of our best players. They're gonna see, oh no, they're a jerk. They always do stuff they shouldn't be doing. Coaches are they're gonna weigh that stuff. They don't just come talk to your parents and coaches and teammates, and the principal. They're all gonna say good things. But when they randomly pull somebody to the side, whether it be the janitor, the cafeteria lady, or whoever it is, or one of those kids in the hallway, that's why you always gotta carry yourself a certain way, right? Because you're always in the spotlight when you're a top athlete, and then you want to get recruited to go, to go play. And if you're not putting that tee time in, man, if you're not knocking that tee off with the right technique and form, right? It ain't just about strength. It's about technique. It's about repeating that practice, practicing, so it becomes second nature to you when you do these skills, right? And you knock it out of the box. And these coaches are, like trying to come at you, trying to convince you to come to their institution, right? And that's what it's about. So what's going to make you stand out other than just on the field? Because there's a lot of good and really good players. But how are you going to stand out? Do you have your grades right? Test scores right? Are you carrying and conducting yourself right? And when they ask around about you, people are saying more good things about you than they are something negative. Nobody's perfect, right? But you need to be a person of excellence, not perfectionism, but a person of excellence, which means you're going to make some mistakes sometimes. But hey, how did you correct that so you don't do it again? Okay. And so the code that you need to use, right, for you guys that are listening right now, for you to get the 10% discount, all right, you need to go to Love the Game 24/7, right? I'm gonna give you the acronym. I'm gonna give you the code. That's not the code, but the code is LTG 24/7 first, right? Spell it out. First 5, right? The number 5. So LTG 24/7 first, FIRST 5, and you write the number 5. So that's the 10% discount code. If you go right now, the first 5, I got 5 discount opportunities of 10%. It's $110, and it'll knock it down to $99 for you guys out there listening right now, right? Or you listen to this recording later on. I'm here to pump up my recruiting camp for March 29th. Get in, right? Get in before time runs out on you, and get developed, right? And so, like I said, a lot of you guys work hard, but some of you are working hard doing the wrong things, and you don't even know it. And that's why you're not running the times that you think you should run in a 40-yard dash or a 20-yard shuttle, right? And you're falling down, or you're slipping, or whatever the case may be, or you guys are taking, not the proper steps that you should be taking when you're doing a 20-yard shuttle and learning how to keep your balance. This stuff has to be worked on for weeks and months, right? And you got time, right, between March 29th and this summer, okay? And coming to Coach Smith Love the Game 24/7 camp, football skills development camp, right? You need people who know what they're doing. And like I said, there's some guys out there who know what they're doing. I'm not saying there aren't. There's plenty. There's a lot of guys out there, you know. So find somebody if you don't come to Coach Smith, you know. But like I said, I had an older brother that played at the next level. I played the next level, and I have a son currently playing at every level. So I think I know something because I trained him, as well as many other kids that I had the blessing of coaching and being a part of their coaching tree and helping them get to the next level. So LTG 24/7, right? The numbers LTG 24/7, right? First, FIRST, and the number 5. So LTG 247 first, FIRST 5. That's the 10% discount code for you guys listening to me right now on IG, YouTube, and Facebook. Share this with folks and get out there and get, you know, and be the first 5 to use this discount code and get yourself signed up and share this information with, you know, those athletes you know out there that need some coaching up. Because I know you do, because I worked many college camps, many of them, okay, and took my kids to something as well. So I know what's not happening. I know what work needs to be done. I've seen kids who I know have some talent and ability, but somebody didn't get them coached up like they needed to, or they, for whatever reason, they didn't know to get what to do. And some kids come out there and it's their first time ever doing these things, and that's not good. You don't want to come out there and it's your first time doing these drills. That's not smart. That's not a good football. That's not a good or great football player. You're doing this stuff the first time. No, I got in the chat my website, lovethegame247.com, for you guys to register and use that first 5 discount. But you can't go to these camps and you expecting to show that you are somebody they should be recruiting, and you haven't even practiced these drills, or nobody coached you up in these drills and prepared you, right? Prepared. That's what means before you go. That's what pre means, right? In the word prepare. That's what the prefix means, before, right? So you have to prepare yourself. You have to do some things before, you know, you go to these camps, these ranking camps, and these college camps, and these coaches' jobs on the line. No, that's not going to happen, guys, young ladies. Okay, it's not going to happen. You got to, you know, parents, come on, you know, invest in your young athlete. Okay, invest. All right, and get them the help that they need. That's going to help them develop. Right, and then there's certain ways you need to lift in the weight room. Right, there's a certain way you lift prior to your season starting to get you bigger, stronger, and faster in your development. And then there's a way you need to lift during the season. Okay, you don't lift the same way, right, in season like you did during the off season to get ready for the season. No. You know, you should be lifting hard during the off season at least 3 or 4 times a week, right? And then that's not including, that's in the gym, in the weight room. You know that Wednesday, that midday, you're not in the weight room, you're on the field doing some field work, right? It's not the only day you do field work. You can do some field work on one of them leg days, right? But there's certain things you want to do, right? And you got to change it up. And so some of you all need to know how that schedule should go, and you're not aware, to help you get bigger and stronger and faster the proper way, right? To where you don't injure yourself, to where you possibly have less injuries during the season. And so that's why I think, running track comes in as well. So, these are the things that Love the Game 24/7 with Coach Smith, your favorite coach, is bringing to the table. And so, like I said, I want you guys, to click on that QR code with your camera right there in the left corner. Click on that, or I shouldn't say, well, click on it if you're going to subscribe, but use your phone camera to hover over it so you can go to the website and register. And so, if anybody got any questions, I'm here to answer some questions. But if you're watching this video live, hey, feel free to ask a question and I'll try to answer it. But if you're watching this video later, hey, feel free to put a comment in as well. Feel free to do that. put a question in, because I'll go back and check and see what questions came in. I get notified when questions pop up. So, but definitely go to my website, lovethegame247.com, to um, get yourself registered before I shut it off. But I appreciate you guys listening, man, taking the time to listen tonight. I'll be back again um, uh, on Saturday and possibly Sunday as well, sharing the same information. Letting you guys know if the codes are still available. I'll let you guys know if there's still a few um, opportunities out there, or a couple. We'll see what happens, but that's the code, LTG 247, right? First five, right? LTG 24/7, FIRST 5, the number 5, right? So use that, get that information to those folks okay, and share it with those football athletes, so they can get themselves the coaching that they need. Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to sign off, and look forward to seeing you guys this weekend, and sharing some more insight on the recruiting world, and also what's coming up. As we finalize the month of February, because we're going to start doing these pro days coming up for these college guys. So I'll be plugging into that as well, because the draft will be coming up in April, right? And so we want to be sure, we talk about what's going on in sports, and definitely in football, with what's happening. Okay, you guys take it easy. Appreciate you joining me. Like I said, click on that QR code. Click on it so you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, and then put your camera over it, right? Hover your camera over it, so it'll take you to my lovethegame247.com website, and you can register for the camp. All right. So I appreciate you guys, and take care.